Hello everyone. Today I thought I was going to show you the two books I bought before World Book Day, because I wasn't going to be able to buy things for World Book Day, which was on the 23rd of April. But look, things changed and I bought more books than I thought. Give it a look. All of the books that you are able to see like lying on the bed are the books that I actually acquired before World Book Day, so before the 23rd of August, and then there are some books that I bought on the World Book Day and after the World Book Day. So this is going to be a really long book haul, so bear with me. We are going to have a little bit more of fun here. Oh, in case you don't know who I am, my name is Clara and I'm the owner of this channel, The Ink Path, where I talk about books in English and in Spanish. Obviously you are listening and watching a video in English, so I will tell you all about the books that I acquired recently. Some in Spanish, some in English, some are available in both, and some you can only buy it in Spanish, but I will let you know which one is which. And of course, if you want to join the adventure, you can subscribe or give me a like, or both. And you can follow me on the social media, on all the platforms that I am at the moment. So yes, I leave all the info down below. And what else? We are going to talk about book presentations as well. Wait a moment. So originally I wasn't going to buy anything for World Book Day because I had work to do and I didn't have as much time as I wanted. So I decided to use my day off before the World Book Day to buy some really nice books that I was actually really excited to read, and I am really excited to read. So at least in my country, when it comes to national or international World Book Day on the 23rd, there are some places in which there are book fairs, and in general, the majority of the week, there are bookshops and shopping centers where you have discounts or deals during the whole week. So I decided that I was going to take some benefit out of those deals to be able to buy the books that I wanted. So the first book I'm going to show you, it's a Spanish book, but I know it's only in Spanish for the moment. So this is La Segunda Revolución, the first volume of a trilogy or a saga, I'm not quite sure what it's going to be, that is called Heredero, like Second Revolution, and the subtitle would be The Heir or something like that. This is published by the Spanish publisher company Montena, and the authors are Geo Costa and Fernando Alcalá, or which is the same, Costa Alcalá. This book is a kind of, as far as I know, fantasy university kind of vibe, where there's a lot of intrigue and political complots, and there's also a password that still has power over the people that live in this world. And I don't know, I contacted the authors several times and they are really, really nice. And this is the kind of, complex, several characters kind of plot. Is not only centering one main character. I just love this, and it feels really intriguing actually. And this was the only thing I was going to buy initially, but then I ended up, I'm going to leave this here. As I said, then I ended up in the classics section, and there's a small shelf dedicated to Shakespeare. And we all know that I love the part, right? So I was like looking at some books, and there are some kind of collections of the whole dramas and the whole tragedies and the comedies and the love poems, like bind up editions. But I wanted like single plays, and I came across this beautiful bilingual edition, which means Spanish and English edition at the same time, of King Lear, or El Rey Lear as it's written in the title. This is published by Penguin under the collection, or as part of the collection of Penguin Classics Spain edition, that is. So, as you can probably tell, this follows the like normal aesthetic of Penguin, but this is like for Spanish people. It has a really interesting introduction that I will skip on my first read because I want to enjoy the play first, and then the play is like this. On one page you have the original English text that I hope you can see, like, and in the other you have the Spanish translation. And in my case, as you can probably know by now, I love reading Shakespeare in English because it's the original text and I prefer to read it like that. But on the other hand, I feel like in case I am a little bit confused or I need more clarification, having the same page on the opposite one in my own language, I could contrast what I think it is with the translation that is done, just to check that I'm right, or just to complete the whole experience. I think it's a really nice edition, and very comfortable to bring with me, like on commute, when I'm going to commute from one place to the other. And also, I love this cover. I feel like it's very simplistic, but it's very powerful. So I love the cover. Yes. Can you see the cover? I don't know who is the responsible for this, but I clap at that person. I feel like the colors and the contrast are really powerful, and I love this kind of giant scenery and tiny king that is losing his heart for the kingdom. I don't know, I feel that it's incredible. Okay, this is initially what I was going to plan, like buying for the World Book Week or day, if you wanted to call it like that. But then I went to a book presentation, a Spanish book, which is kind of, I was going to say a realistic kind of contemporary fiction, but it's actually some kind of magical realism kind of fiction, which is Nosotros Después del Invierno by Laia Soler. I will leave the cover at some point over here. And I went because a friend of mine called Christine, which is a blogger that is specialized in books and psychology, she asked me to accompany her to this place, to this presentation. And I already knew the author. I haven't read any of her books actually yet. I will do so soon, but I don't know when. But I really like the way she talks, and I feel like in this book in particular, which doesn't have a translation in English yet, I'm sorry, she basically discussed really important topics such as mental health issues and so on. So I found that the presentation and the talk and the Q&A that we did afterwards was really inspiring and really raw and real. So I really enjoyed it. Afterwards, we went to my friend and I went to have dinner, and we were discussing about the books that I wanted to read. And my friend Christine, she knows that I love Shakespeare. You have proof A here. By the way, I decided to read this thanks to Emily St. John Mandel, the author of Station 11, which is a book that mentions Kingsley at the beginning of the story. Having said that, let's go back to the real story here. When I was with my friend and we were discussing about my love for Shakespeare, she hasn't read any the bad plays or works that I'm aware of. She was talking to me about another Spanish author that some time ago she published a book based on the Globe, Shakespeare Globe, or inspired by the Shakespeare Globe. In this book, which is a fantasy book, theatre and plays are the center of life of a whole society where actors have like plots and intrigues, and being part of a theatre company, a very important theatre company, it's vital, and there are some mysteries and stuff like that. And I found myself quite intrigued. First of all, I haven't read any book of this author, Spanish author again, before. But she told me that this book was quite rare and hard to find. So I said, okay, maybe I could borrow your edition so I can read it. But no, I found it. So when my friend started explaining to me that in this world, theatre was a form of life, the center of society, and everything was revolving a set of actors, I knew I had to have it. Not only because of the direct reference to Shakespearean Globe, but I need it, and I'm glad to find it, so here it is. But you don't think that with this one everything stops. By the way, this one arrived on World Book Day, so apparently I bought a book on World Book Day. This hasn't stopped with this one. There are more books to come, so get ready. Because that same week I also went to another book presentation of my favorite Spanish author at this point. This is Silverville by Victoria Alvarez. This is a book, a really chunky book. That is only available in Spanish, but I wanted to share it with you because it's the first Western novel that I actually find, and I am really thrilled, considering that I normally don't fall for Western kind of films or anything like that, but this story seems really, really good. This is the story of, let's wait until I say it right. This is the story of Grace Mallory, whose life is a little bit unexpected, and she arrives to the town of Silverville claiming that she is the wife of a person very, very dear in the town, which is Mr. Mallory, but he is supposed to be dead. So no one has like actual proof of this marriage, and there's a revenge in the plotting. There's a kind of battling in the own town. So basically, there are two women face to face. There's a lot of revenge. There's a lot of violence apparently, and I know that Victoria Alvarez is a sure bet that if you are able to read in Spanish, Victoria Alvarez is a actual author you should read, because one, her novels are always set in different period of time and place, and she's profoundly good at documenting and making it like you can you can bet for sure that she did her homework regarding the period of the time and the customs of the like time frame. All of that is completely covered like until the whole novel is secure. So that's a point if you like period kind of different settings, time settings, and also her way of introduction tension and conflict is very, very progressive, but it's very immersive, so you are in constant tension throughout the whole novel. And her prose is brilliant, her style is incredible, and she is really good at creating hype. I was already hyped like a month ago before the book release was done, and I went to the book signing and book presentation in Madrid, and I have a picture of me with the author that proves it, so you can probably tell by the picture that I'm the happiest person in the world. So, Victoria, if you're watching this, I love you, dear. So, I went to this book fair with nothing clear. I didn't even know what I was going to find. But I find really nice things, and I want to show you which ones I bought. Some of them are not for me, but some are actually already on my TBR, like escalating really quickly. The first one is again a play. Actually, this is a play of a Spanish author called José Manuel Fernández Argüelles that it's published by the Spanish publisher company Ediciones Irreverentes, and it's called Sax Femme, and it tells the story of a town in which during this, I think it's the 19th century, women want to have more power of control over their lives, want to do more things on their own, and the politicians and other masculine members of this tiny society are not that sure. So in a kind of comedy way, the role of women and the importance of having an independent will is examined here. I will read it very, very soon because it's very short and I really want to have a laugh and discuss serious matters. But I also bought a YA book that you are able to find in English. This is Tommy Adeyemi's book. In Spanish it's called Hijos de Sangre y Hueso, but I think you will find it as Children of Blood and Bone. And I'm really, really glad to have it here. This is the Spanish edition that also owns or mimics the English kind of cover with the girl and stuff like that. And I don't know much about this story. I know it's supposed to be part of a trilogy. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it's based on the African kind of folklore, which is always good. Representation is great. And I bought it because I knew that, for example, Sam from Thoughts on Toms and other booktubers that I follow really, really like it. So I am going to try this one for myself. Apart from that one, I bought a children's book that is not actually for me, it's for my niece. Oops. This one is for my niece, but I actually read it fast because I really wanted to see how this book was developed. This is La Niña Invisible, it will be translated as The Invisible Girl. It's again only published in Spanish, and this is part of the collection El Barco de Vapor, which is a children's book collection that is named after one of the most important children prizes here in Spain, that is awarded by the publisher company called SM, and I love this publisher company, and I really wanted to read what they pick for the 2018 Barco de Vapor Award, and I read it and I love it. This is the story of Trog, a girl from a tribe whose main ritual is that boys have to go on a journey to become men and also to be part of the council of the tribe. But women are not allowed to do that, so Trog decides to do the journey on her own, to defy the rules and to prove that she has the same right to be in a council as other kind of boys, so girls can do it as well. And I find this story very intriguing, very, very funny, and refreshing, and it's a really interesting take on feminism, and girls can do everything, right? So I think it's a great book that tackles a very abstract concept, but very simple concept as well for children. So I feel like it's really nice, and the drawings and the pictures of this are really nice too. And the last book I want to show you today, the last book I bought was this one. This is a Spanish copy of Virginia Woolf, A Room of One's Own, I think it's called originally, Una habitación propia. This is the Spanish edition published by Austral Ediciones, and I love it. I love the texture of the cover, I love that it's a hardback, I love that it has a bookmark, kind of cloth bookmark there inside as well. A room of one's own, if I say it right. It's a set of conferences that Virginia Woolf did, that later on became kind of a book form. It's a non-fiction, and I know it's very important for feminism and like women perception of oneself. So I've been really trying to tackle the perfect copy of this book, a copy that I felt that it actually was comfortable to carry, and that the font wasn't really small. And I found this one. I found this, and I'm really glad that I did. I want to read more about feminism, about different kind of approaches to feminism, and I feel it's more of a growth for me. I need to continue learning on what I feel about myself, what I feel about my other female colleagues, and I always come to books as a reference first, because to me books reflect society and reflect what society can be or it shouldn't be. So I am going to start with this one. It's my first approach to non-fiction that is not compulsory reading for class, so cross fingers. Well, my friends, this is it. This is the end of my book haul. I think we will call it April book haul. I don't normally buy so many books in one sitting, but this week, the book week was a little bit manic. So I hope you enjoy my enthusiastic explanation of it. I hope you like it, and again, if you can subscribe, you can join the family by clicking that button. Don't forget to click the bell as well, just in case YouTube forgets to tell you when I'm uploading a video. So I hope you enjoyed. We will see each other next week. Bye.